Hello everyone, I'm Jayashree. Welcome to my channel and to this tutorial for the crochet sweater top that I call Flower Power. Let me begin by saying I'm crazy about this stitch. It is so beautiful. I came across it on my YouTube feed, and I went and saw the tutorial on this, and I will put up the name of the channel that I found this tutorial for the stitch from. I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. So I knew that I had to make something with it. I plan on making something along the summer lines with this stitch pattern, but really it looks stunning. Give it a try. It isn't difficult at all. I changed the stitch pattern for the sleeves just to add some contrast, and I think it works really well. So the size that I'm making for this tutorial is a medium to fit a bust of 36 to 38 inches. Please don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials. That's crochet tutorials. And to everyone that has subscribed, a big thank you. Hope you enjoy this tutorial. I'm starting off this tutorial rather oddly because I've already worked part of the pattern, but this I think I need to explain before I continue with the pattern. So this pattern works with 4 rounds, completing a set. For this tutorial, I'll call each pattern a set. 1, 2, 3. So it's 4 rounds that make up this pattern, and you can see that it's a pretty little flower pattern here. For this pattern, I'll be working in the round, but this time I'll start from the bottom up. So for to create an increase in the pattern, or should I say a stretch in the pattern, I'll change my hook sizes, and I'll be working with quite a few hook sizes from a 6mm to a 4mm hook. Okay, so I've worked that first set, so it's 4 rounds per set using my 6mm hook. Then it was the second set using the 5.5mm hook. The third set using the 5mm hook. The fourth set I also used the 5mm hook. The fifth set I used the 4.5mm hook, and the sixth set I've used the 4.5mm hook. So the bottom part of the body I worked from hook size 6mm to 4.5mm. So what that does, changing the hook sizes creates a different stretch in the pattern, and I needed a bigger stretch at the bottom of the top and less of a stretch working towards the top. Should you want a longer length in the top, what I would do is, instead of working one set of the pattern using the 6mm hook, I'll work 2 sets, or I'll work 2 sets using the 5.5mm hook. In this case, I just worked 1 set using the 6mm, 1 set using the 5.5mm, 2 sets using the 5mm, and 2 sets using the 4.5mm. So you would adjust the length of the top by working an extra set or 2 with the 6mm hook and the 5.5mm hook at the bottom. And to shorten the top, I'd cut down on the sets that I've worked using the 5mm hook and the 4.5mm hook. I've worked 2 sets, so then I could make either one of those sets less, like by working just 1 set using the 5mm hook, or working just 1 set using the 4.5mm hook, and that's to shorten the top. We'll begin with the top, working the bottom part of the top. And for the bottom part of the top, I'll continue to change my hook sizes as I've already discussed. And then I'll move on after placing my stitch markers to mark off my armhole spaces. I'll move on to the top part of the top, or the upper part of the top, and for that I'll use my 4mm hook. And then to complete it, right at the top, I'll work the shoulders and the neckline. So let's begin working the top from the bottom up, and for this I'll use the 6mm hook, and my stitch pattern is as follows. Begin with a slip knot, chain 168, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Continue to 168 chains. Now that I have my chain complete, I'll slip stitch to join the chain to form a ring. So making certain that this entire chain is not twisted. Join the first stitch, or the one attached to the hook, to the last stitch with a slip knot. Round 1, chain 1, single crochet into the same stitch as chain 1, then it's chain 1, skip 5 chains, 1 2 3 4 5, and into that next stitch work 3 triple crochets, chain 3, 3 triple crochets. So to work a triple crochet, it's yarn over twice, insert the hook into that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook. So that was my first triple crochet. Then for the second, the third, a chain 3, 1 2 3, and then it's my next lot. So that's the first triple crochet, second, and the third. So that was 3 triple crochets, chain 3, 3 triple crochets all into 1 stitch. Then it's chain 1, skip 5, 1 2 3 4 5, into the next chain, single crochet. So my stitch pattern is chain 1, skip 5, 3 triple crochets, chain 3, 3 triple crochets into 1 stitch. Then it's chain 1, skip 5, single crochet. Continue with the stitch pattern to the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 1, and I've worked those 3 triple crochet, chain 3, 3 triple crochet, and I have 5 stitches to go. So then it's chain 1, and I'll slip stitch into that single crochet from the start of the round. Round 2, so I need to get into that first chain 3 space. I'll slip stitch to get into that space. So to slip stitch, so it's insert your hook into that stitch, pull up a loop, go through, slip stitch into that chain 3 space. Then it's single crochet into that same chain 3 space. Then it's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now here our stitch pattern is 5 unfinished front post triple crochets completed with the 6th. So into those 1, 2, 3, skipping the single crochet in between, 4, 5, 6, I'll work my stitch. So to work a unfinished front post triple crochet, it's yarn over twice, insert the hook into the stitch, the post of the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, and we leave it with 2 loops on the hook. Then it's yarn over twice, insert the hook into the post of the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, and I've got 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over twice, insert the hook into the post of the 3rd stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, and I've got 4 loops on the hook. Then I'll skip that single crochet, yarn over twice, go on to the 4th stitch, the post of the 4th stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, and I've got 5 loops on the hook. Then it's yarn over twice, insert the hook into the post of the 5th stitch, yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and I've got 6 loops on the hook. To complete the stitch, it's yarn over twice, insert the hook into the 6th stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, and I've got 7 loops on the hook. Yarn over and go through all 7 loops on the hook. Then it's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into that chain 3 space. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll continue with the pattern, working those 5 unfinished front post triple crochets completed with the 6th into these 1, 2, 3, skipping the single crochet, 4, 5, 6 triple crochets from the round before. I'll chain 5, single crochet into the chain 3 space, chain 5, continuing with the pattern to the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 2 and I've worked those 5 unfinished front post triple crochets completed by the 6th. Then it's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and I'll slip stitch into that single crochet from the start. Round 3, chain 1 and single crochet into the same stitch as chain 1. Then it's chain 1, skip the chain 5 space, and into that stitch in between the 2 chain 5s, I'll work 3 triple crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and a further 3 triple crochets all into that 1 stitch. So that was 1, 2, and 3. Then it's chain 1 and into, skip that chain 5 and into that single crochet from the round before, single crochet, chain 1, skip chain 5, into that stitch in between the 2 chain 5s, I'll work my 3 triple crochets, chain 3, 3 triple crochets, all into the 1 stitch. Chain 3 and 3 more triple crochets. The stitch pattern is chain 1, single crochet into that single crochet, skipping the chain 5, chain 1, skip the chain 5, and into that stitch in between the 2 chain 5s, I'll work 3 triple crochets, chain 3, 3 triple crochets. Continue to the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 3 and I've worked those 3 triple crochet, chain 3, 3 triple crochet into the stitch. Then I have the chain 5, so then I'll chain 1 and I'll slip stitch into that single crochet from the start. Round 4, slip stitch to get into that first chain 3 space. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm at that chain 3 space. Then it's single crochet into that same chain 3 space, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we'll work the 5 unfinished front post triple crochets completed with the 6th. That's the first unfinished front post triple crochet, second, third, skip that single crochet in between, then it's the 4th, 5th, and I'll finish it with the 6th front post triple crochet. Then it's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet into the chain 3 space. So I'll continue with the pattern, working a chain 5, 5 unfinished front post triple crochets into these 6 triple crochets, chain 5, single crochet into the chain 3 space. Continue to the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 4 and I've worked those 5 unfinished front post triple crochets completed by the 6th. Then it's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slip stitch into that single crochet that we started off from. So if it's unclear the start and end of the round, place a stitch marker at the start. So I've completed the 4 rounds working 1 set of the stitch pattern, and you can clearly see the flower here. So for round 5 and thereafter for the pattern, we'll continue to repeat round 1, 2, 3, and 4. So just to give you an idea here, for round 5, I'll chain 1 and I'll single crochet into that same stitch as chain 1, and then it's a chain 1. I'll skip this chain 5 and into my stitch pattern. Right here, you see a stitch here. I'll work the 3 triple crochets, chain 3, 3 triple crochets. Then it's chain 1, skip the chain 5 and into the single crochet work a single crochet. Chain 1, skip the chain 5, then it's 3 triple crochets, chain 3, 3 triple crochets, continuing with the pattern. I've completed the body of the top, or should I say the bottom section of the body, and I've worked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pattern sequences. Remember that I've changed my hook size as I went along. So for that first set, I used the 6mm hook. The second set, the 5.5mm hook. The third set and the fourth set, I used the 5mm hook. This 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth set, I used the 4.5mm hook, and the sixth set, I've used the 4.5mm hook. So I've continued with the top, working the top section of the body and the shoulders and the neckline, just to give you an idea of what we're doing here. So we're working 2 of these, and it's on either side of the top. That will give me the front and the back. So I've completed, for this case, we'll say this is the front. I've completed the front, and I'll show you what I've done. Once you complete the body, the bottom section of the body, with the body folded in half as I have here, I've placed 2 stitch markers on either side of the body. I've placed those stitch markers on either side into a single crochet. So if you look at the pattern, into the single crochet, I've placed the stitch marker. Round 1. So we're continuing with the pattern, but the difference here is we are not working in the round anymore. So the pattern changes slightly. So round 1, chain 1 and turn. We're now working on the wrong side, on the inside. So then to continue with the pattern, it's single crochet into that same stitch as chain 1. Then it's chain 1, skip the chain 5, and into that stitch right here, continue with the pattern, working our 3 triple crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 triple crochets all into that one stitch. So I'll continue with round 1 of the pattern to the end where there's a change in the pattern. I've continued with the pattern with round 1, and I'm at the end just before the first single crochet. First stitch marker. So I've worked that 3 triple crochet, chain 3 triple crochet into the stitch, and then it was a chain 1 and a single crochet into the single crochet. And right at the end, I've worked my stitch pattern, then it's a chain 1, and I'll single crochet into that stitch marked by the first stitch marker. Round 2, chain 1 and turn. We're back on the right side. Then it's single crochet into the same stitch as chain 1, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's into those 3 triple crochets. I'll work 2 unfinished front post triple crochets, and I'll complete it with the 3rd front post triple crochet. Then it's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet into the chain 3 space, chain 5, and I'll continue with the pattern working those 5 unfinished front post triple crochets and completing it with the 6th, and then it's a chain 5 and a single crochet into the chain 3 space. Follow the pattern as before to complete the round, and at the end I'll show you how to end the round. I'm at the end of round 2 and I've single crocheted into the chain 3 space right before the end. So I'll work 2 unfinished triple crochets and I'll complete it with the 3rd into these 2 unfinished front post triple crochets completed with the 3rd into these 3 triple crochets. So I've worked my last stitch pattern, and then to end it's a triple crochet into that stitch marked by the stitch marker. Round 3, chain 1 and turn. We're now working on the wrong side. Then it's chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the same stitch as chain 4, work 3 triple crochets. It's 1, 2, and 3. Then it's chain 1 and skip that chain 5 that we've worked in the previous round, single crochet into the single crochet. So it's chain 1 and into the stitch here, skipping the chain 5 right there, right here in between the 2 chain 5s, I'll work 3 triple crochets, chain 3, 3 triple crochets. Chain 3, 3 triple crochets. Then it's a chain 1, skip that chain 5 and single crochet into the single crochet. Continue with the pattern to the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 3 and I've single crocheted into that last single crochet before the end. Then it's a chain 1 and into this last stitch I'll work 3 triple crochets. One, 2, 3, then into that chain from the round before I'll work a triple crochet. So that completes round 3. Round 4, chain 1, turn. We're now on the right side, and then it's single crochet into that same stitch as chain 1, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll continue with the pattern working those 5 unfinished front post triple crochets, and I'll complete it with the 6th. Then it's chain 5 and single crochet into the chain 3 space. Then it's chain 5 and those 5 unfinished front post triple crochets completed by the 6th, chain 5, single crochet into the chain 3 space. I'm at the end of round 4 and I've worked my stitch pattern into the 6 triple crochets at the end. So then it's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and I'll single crochet right at the end. That was the chain 4 space. Continue with the pattern until you reach 1.5 inches less than the armhole depth. So just to give you an idea, because I've already worked the first side, we're creating the armhole space here. I've continued with the top part of that sweater top, and I've worked from the stitch marker to the top to 5.5 inches. So my armhole depth is 7 inches and I'm short of 1.5 inches. So that 5.5 inches is 14 centimeters and the 7 inches is 18 centimeters. So work to an armhole depth less than 1.5 inches than the required armhole depth. In this case, I've worked 5.5 inches and my armhole depth should be 7 inches. So I've stopped the pattern here and I'll continue working the shoulders and the neckline. So to work the shoulders and the neckline, I'll continue with the pattern from where I've stopped. So for some rounds, you're stopping at a single crochet into that chain 3 space, or for some rounds you're stopping at a single crochet into that chain single crochet from the round before. So here I'll work 2 lots of the pattern sequence here. I'll either stop at the chain 3 or the single crochet depending on where I am, which round I am in the pattern. Then I'll continue with single crochets all across, stopping at 2 pattern sequences here. So it's either the single crochet or the chain 3 space, depending on what I had done on that side. So I'll continue with the pattern to the end, then it's turn and work the next round as I had done for the round before, working either to that chain 3 space or the single crochet, then it's single crochets across, back to the next side, working those 2 pattern sequences, and then it's turn and I'll work my 3rd round with single crochets in the center. I've continued with the pattern for the shoulder and I'm now at the neckline. Notice that I've stopped with a single crochet into the 2nd chain 3 space. So you'll either stop at the chain 3 space or the single crochet depending on which round you are in the pattern. In this case, I've stopped with the single crochet into that chain 3 space. I'll now continue with single crochets into the stitches and into the chains. So into that 3 triple crochet, it's 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. Into the chain 1 spaces, a single crochet, into the single crochet, a single crochet, a chain 1 space, a single crochet, the 3 triple crochets, 3 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3. Into that chain 3 space, work 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So I'll continue with single crochets to the chain 3 space with a single crochet. It's either the chain 3 space or the single crochet from the round before, depending on what you had done on the other side. I'm at the end of the round and I've worked those single crochets across to the second chain 3 space where I continued with the pattern. I've completed the shoulders and the neckline, and I've worked 3 rounds to complete that section. So here you see this forms the shoulder. Then we have the neckline with the single crochets, and it's the other shoulder on the other side. I'll now repeat the pattern for the top part of the body, the shoulder and the neckline on the other side, from stitch marker to stitch marker, and I'll begin at stitch marker 2. Fasten off, leaving a long tail to help with the seaming. Now that the shoulders and the neckline is complete, you can fasten off, cut off the excess yarn, and you've repeated it for the other side. Remember to leave a long tail to help with the seaming at the shoulders. So we'll seam up the shoulders. Try to match up the stitches while seaming. Then it's fasten off and cut off the excess yarn. So with my shoulders seamed on both sides, I can move on to the sleeves. For the sleeves, attach yarn to the underarm of the armhole space. And chain 1 to secure. For round 1 of the sleeve, we'll single crochet all around the armhole. So work those single crochets evenly across. What I mean by evenly is keep those stitches of the same size. So continue with single crochets to the end of the round. I've ended round 1 by slip stitching into the first single crochet. Round 2, chain 1, single crochet into the first stitch as chain 1. Then it's chain 1, skip 1 stitch and single crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip a stitch and single crochet into the next. Continue with chain 1, skip 1, single crochet to the end of the round. I've ended round 2 by slip stitching into the single crochet from the start. Round 3, chain 1, single crochet into the same stitch as chain 1. Then I'll continue with chain 1, skip that chain 1 space and single crochet into the single crochet from the round before. Chain 1, skipping the chain 1 space and a single crochet into the single crochet. Continue with the round or the stitch pattern to the end of the round. I've ended round 3 by slip stitching into the single crochet from the start. I've continued with the sleeve by repeating round 3 to the length that I needed. You can stop at any time depending on the length you want. To border off or to edge the sleeve or to tighten up the sleeve at the cuff. Once I reached the length of the sleeve, I worked single crochets all across, skipping the chain 1 spaces. So I only work single crochets into the single crochets from the round before, and then I continued with 2 more rounds of just single crochets. And what that does is it tightened up the sleeve here at the cuff. So be careful with the single crochets because it can tighten up the sleeve too much, and you wouldn't want that. As long as your hand is able to fit through comfortably, I think you've reached the correct tightness on the sleeve. Then it's fasten off, cut off the excess yarn, and repeat for the other sleeve. To complete the top, I attached yarn to the neckline and worked 3 rounds of the stitch pattern, just as I had done for the sleeve. So it was the chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. That was 3 rounds, and then it's fastened off, cut off the excess yarn, and weave in all those ends.